people of the internet. I need to shut the door. Hello people of the internet. For those of you who I have not had the pleasure of meeting yet, my name is Rachel and I make videos on YouTube at least once a week. Today I am going to be making a book review, which I haven't done in a really long time, but BookTube is a big part of YouTube that I really like. I think they're one of the most accepted communities and I really like reading, and I figured like I'm reading books, so why shouldn't I be reviewing them? But yeah, and I read this book and oh my gosh, it was really good. So it's a YA novel. It's a retelling. It's a YA retelling of Alice in Wonderland. Usually I've been not reading as much YA recently. I've been trying to move past it and expand my reading skills level interests, because I'm not really YA interested as much anymore. I don't know. But anyway, the book that I read and am reviewing is Splintered by A.G. Howard. And like I said, it is a retelling of Alice in Wonderland. It's about a girl named Alyssa Gardner, and her great-great-great-grandmother is Alice Little, and all of the women in her family since Alice have been plagued with a curse, and they can hear bugs and plants and stuff, and they talk to them. And her mother is actually in an insane asylum because people think that she's crazy, because they're all like obsessed with Alice in Wonderland and have these really like crazy traits. So Alyssa wants to break the curse and goes into Wonderland and has her own adventures. And I don't want to give anything away because it's just so good. Like, so this version of Wonderland is kind of like a gothic steampunk kind of thing. She's really alternative and she wears a lot of, oh my gosh, it's so hard. She's like kind of punk rock alternative. The guy that she's interested in is punk rock and kind of like a skater guy, and a lot of the characters are kind of like that in the book. And it's just definitely a different perspective on Alice the Wonderland, I guess, atmosphere environment that I've ever read. It was a really like easy, smooth read. It kept me interested the entire time. It's actually a 4-book series as of now. I have picked up the other 3 books. I actually knew that I wanted to read them after like the first 3 pages. Like, this was so good and had me so hooked. Like, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna be satisfied after reading just 1 book. The ironic thing is though, the way that this book wraps up at the end, you really don't need to continue on with the series. It ends where there's an implication that the story will go on, but at the end I felt like everything was tied up really nicely and I was very satisfied with the ending, and I really don't even need to read the rest of the books in the series. I would be happy just reading this one, but I really like Alice in Wonderland, so I'm gonna read the rest of them. Like I said, I really don't want to give anything away, like about any of the characters that you don't learn right away, because it's really great. It's really great going into this and experiencing everything. It's kind of like experiencing it for the first time because it is so dark and gothic and like no other Alice in Wonderland interpretation that I've read before. And I've read a lot of Alice in Wonderland interpretations and retellings and that kind of thing, so I really like Alice in Wonderland. The nice thing is though, it does refer back to Alice in Wonderland because this is in the future and Alice in Wonderland is still a real book and she's read it and her family, you know, like it's about her ancestors, so she knows it and it's referred back to, and she even carries she calls it her guidebook, and it's Alice in Wonderland with stuff that's in it. It's kind of a spoiler if I tell you. The one good thing too is this book was not predictable, and I really like that because I don't want a book that I can predict how it's gonna end. There was plot twist after plot twist after plot twist, and I was just like, oh my god, I don't know what to think or feel, like, ever. And there's also 2 gentlemen in the novel that fly for Alyssa's love, and you can kind of tell that more or less right away, so it's not really a spoiler. So there's a love triangle going on, and romance is a big part of this novel, which I wasn't a big fan of. I kind of wanted more of just Alyssa being independent, but throughout the book she grows into independence and finds that she's capable of doing things on her own. Like, part of her always knows that she can, but she's always been protected by everybody in her life because, like, her mom's crazy and stuff. So this is sort of her going out and being herself a little bit, but at the same time it's not. And I really hope that the next few books is more like Alyssa being Alyssa. And because that would just be great if she was a stronger female character, I guess. Not that she's not strong, but I've read other YA novels where the female lead is much stronger, and I would have liked that. On the back it says that it's kind of like a Tim Burton interpretation, but not really, because I've seen Tim Burton's interpretation of Alice in Wonderland and it's not nearly as dark as this is. Oh my god, this book is so dark and twisted and just, I love it. 4 stars. Because it was a good read, it was easy, it kept me interested, and it threw me off all the time, but I wasn't always a fan of Alyssa, and I wasn't always a fan of such the big emphasis on the romance part of the book. I would have liked more of just Alyssa out adventuring in Wonderland. But I am going to read the next 3 novels. They are in, like, I have them and I'm ready to read them and just dive into this. Because this book was so good. I read it in 3 days. Not even, like 2.5 days. Which seems probably like a long time for a lot of people. It's a 371 page book and I have a 1.5-year-old baby. So for me to find time to read this in like 2.5 days, a day and a half-ish is, oh my gosh, I couldn't put it down. It was all encapturing and enthralling and just beautiful. So I definitely suggest that if you like Alice in Wonderland or like punk rocky, alternative, Tim Burton-esque, gothic, steampunky novels, to pick this up because it's good. And even if you don't, like I said, it's really unpredictable with all of the plot twists and you find out so many things that you didn't know, and so many feelings from this book. I hope that was a good review and made sense and I didn't babble too much or repeat myself. Don't forget to subscribe down below to see more content from me. Like I said, I upload once a week and it's free to subscribe, so why wouldn't you? And don't forget to thumbs up this video as well so that I know that people like book reviews and I did a good job because I'm really insecure about this. I hope you have a good day, guys. Bye.